Whispers from the Hollow House. The Hollow House stood at the end of Elm Street, forgotten by most, its windows boarded up, and the once bright white paint now peeling and faded. Children whispered stories about it, tales of strange noises, shadows flickering through the cracks, and an eerie feeling that clung to the very air around it. But no one dared to go near. Until now. Mia and her friends, Dylan and Emily, were fascinated by the house's reputation. They'd heard the stories of a family that had vanished without a trace decades ago, and ever since, the house had remained abandoned, untouched by time. To them, it was an invitation, a challenge, a place to explore, to uncover the truth, and maybe, just maybe, to prove the stories wrong. One chilly autumn evening, they gathered at the edge of the overgrown yard. The air was thick with the scent of damp earth and decaying leaves. As they approached the house, the wind howled like a warning, but the trio shrugged it off. "I dare you to knock on the door," Mia teased, her eyes sparkling with mischief. "Fine," Dylan said with a grin, always the bravest of the three. He walked up the routing porch, and with a defiant motion, rapped his knuckles against the ancient wood. The sound echoed, a hollow thud that reverberated through the still night. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, a low, guttural whisper slid through the cracks of the door. "Leave. Now." He froze. Mia felt the hair on her neck stand on end, but Dylan laughed it off. "It's probably just the wind, or someone messing with us. Let's go inside." They pushed the door open. It creaked loudly, protesting its disturbance, and they stepped inside. The air was heavy with dust and the scent of mildew. Old furniture, draped in white sheets, loomed like ghostly figures in the darkened corners of the room. The walls were cracked, the floorboards warped and unstable beneath their feet. A soft rustling sound came from upstairs. "Did you hear that?" Emily whispered, her voice trembling. Mia nodded, her heart pounding. "We should leave. This doesn't feel right." But Dylan, ever the adventurer, motioned for them to follow him. "Come on, we're already here. Let's see what's up there." They crept up the staircase, the wood groaning under their weight. At the top, the hallways stretched out before them, dark and claustrophobic. The whispers were louder now, indistinct but undeniable. "Help me, ... It was faint, like a breath, but it carried an unmistakable desperation. "Okay, that's enough," Emily said, gripping Mia's arm. "We need to go now." But Dylan pressed on, drawn to the end of the hole, where an old, weathered door stood ajar. "Let's just look inside. I have a feeling we're close to finding something." Mia and Emily exchanged a glance, but both reluctantly followed. As they entered the room, the temperature dropped. Their breath came out in foggy puffs, and the whispers grew louder, surrounding them like a swarm of angry bees. Then they saw it. A mirror stood at the far wall, its surface cracked and tarnished, reflecting the room in distorted angles. But as they stared into it, their reflections began to shift. First, it was just small movements, a hand twitching, a figure in the corner of the frame that wasn't there in the room. Then, their reflections smiled back at them. But the smiles were wrong. The eyes of the figures in the mirror twisted and bulged, and their mouths stretched into grotesque, silent screams. Mia recoiled in horror, but it was too late. The door slammed shut behind them, plunging the room into total darkness. The whispers became screams. The walls seemed to breathe, and the floor began to tremble beneath their feet. Mia's heart raced as she fumbled for the door, her fingers brushing the cold, slick wood. She twisted the knob, but it wouldn't budge. The air grew thick, oppressive, and she felt a cold, clammy hand wrap around her ankle, dragging her toward the floor. "Get out." The whispers hissed in unison, now sounding like a chorus of voices. Before it's too late, Dylan, Emily, and Mia struggled, desperate to escape, but the house wasn't ready to let them go. The floor beneath them cracked open, revealing a gaping maw of darkness. Mia screamed, pulling herself free, and with one final burst of strength, they broke through the door and tumbled into the hallway. They ran, not looking back, not stopping until they were safely outside. The hollow house loomed behind them, silent once more, as if nothing had ever happened. But they all knew better. The whispers were still there. They always would be. And as Mia turned to look one last time, she saw something in the upstairs window, a figure, pale and broken, watching them. The house was alive, and it wasn't done with them yet. And